Oh, sorry. Whoa. Okay, that's fine. So when you get to that level, okay, you just place your sell limit, market gets there, and guess what? Boom, the market is going back down. I hope everyone has gotten it right to that level. So to recap this particular thing, I'm wasting time on this pending order on purpose. Okay, I'm wasting time on this part on this on purpose. So basically, what we just described is that buying to set a buy stop is just like setting your buy stop while the price is still below the level where you want to buy from. Okay, setting a sell stop is setting, an order below the current market price. Buy order is just like, setting your buying level below the current market price, and setting your sell limit is more or less like setting your, your sell above the current market price. I believe this you do good if you kind of followed was, I believe I could share this with some of us, this particular picture. You can get it online though. If you can get it, please print it and then make it your friend, because in this journey that we are starting, you are going to use this a lot. You are going to use the buy stop, the sell stop, the buy limit, the sell limit. You are going to use them a lot. Okay. So let's move. Okay. So now we are talking about closing a position. Okay. Closing a position or closing a trade. What does it mean? It is simple. When you take a trade, whether you like it or not, at a point you need to get out. You need to get out. So that's what you are seeing here. This, I won't talk much about it, but I will kind of show it to you, in a practical way for you to understand better. The same way we are talking about partial close. Here we are talking about partial close. Okay. What does it mean? When you are trading, you've kind of taken a lot. What you are seeing here, volume. You can see where my arrow is. You can see volume. The volume, sometimes that's what we call the lot size. The volume is the same as lot size. So what happens is this. You've taken probably a lot size of 2. Okay, it is an example. You've taken a lot size of 2. You are trading, you are making profit. And now you thought of yourself and you say, okay, as I'm making profit, I'm afraid that the markets may go against me. Let me secure what I have and put some in my pocket, okay, before I continue. So what you just do is you come here and you change your lot size from the 2 that it was to 1, or to any figure that you want to close. You've done your analysis. Okay, in your mind, you are just telling yourself, okay, let me close probably half of it. Okay, you just close half. You just change the 2 that you were having into 1. It means you are closing half. And then you come down here where the yellow rectangle is, and you close it. So it means when you go back, you realize your profit, if you were making a profit of probably 500, half of that would have gone. So it means that half has been added to your balance, whilst you let the rest, 1, lot size will still be running. Okay, now we are going to talk about some, sorry guys, I didn't see it on time, but I'm now recording. So what we are going to do now, we are going to talk about some of the analytic tools, okay? Some of the analytic tools. I'm going to touch on only few of them, and then you'll be ready to go. So we have what we call a crosshair, okay? The crosshair just helps you to measure one distance to the other, okay? It helps you to measure one distance to the other. It also provides the trader with information as what, as the time, the points, you know, the dates and all those. We have what I'm just talking about is even written there. You said the information provided is in the form of number of period, okay, number of points, and then the price, and then the price. We have shapes. We have shapes such as rectangles. This thing that you are seeing are the very thing that I showed you here. Just let me show you. Are the very thing that I show you here. All these things that you are seeing here, they are called analytical tools, okay? So I'm just kind of explaining few of them and what they do. So that is it. So we also have, you know, and the horizontal line. The horizontal line can be used to mark various levels, okay? Particularly those of support and resistance. This is what we are calling, you know, horizontal lines. We have trend lines. Trend lines help you to explore the trend and price changes. Our good friends who are great fans of support and resistance, they will use that to price actions. They will use those tools. Okay, we have the vertical line, we have the trend line by angle. So those are just some few analytical tools. Okay, from here, we are going to go to my MT4 for us to go through a little bit what we were just talking about all this while. Hello guys. Okay, now you could see this is my demo. This is my demo account, MT4 Naga. Okay, so we first of all spoke about the market watch. We spoke about the market watch. So let me show you something right here. First of all, when you open your chart, at the top here, you could see what we call the toolbar. Okay, the toolbar at the top here. It has all the tools that you could need. You know, later on you can explore them by yourself. Those of us who are already in the system for a while, they know what I'm talking about. Those of us who are also new, I will advise after the class, we kind of try to go through a bit and, you know, and learn more, familiarize ourselves with the system. Okay, this is what I was talking about, the market watch, the market watch. Let me show you something. I can actually come here and close this so I can show it to you properly. The market watch just has all the assets. These are all the assets, all the instruments that Naga provides, all of them. This is just all of them. There are many. Guys, there are many. It's not only, how do you call it, currencies. We do have, I spoke about metal, like gold. I spoke about energy. We are talking about crude oil and the rest. You know, all these things are here. We even have some indices, you know, there are many. So yours, sometimes when you open yours, for those of us who are still new, when you open your market watch, you may not have as much as, you know, as much assets as I have here right now. So what you just need to do, right click on it anywhere at all, right click on it and come to show all, and to give you the entire list. Mine wasn't this many. I just came here, I click on show all, and it gives you the entire list. If you want to hide them all, you can also do so and just leave the currency pairs or the instruments that you want to be dealing with. Some people prefer that way. Some people don't like when things are too crowded. So they will just kind of, okay, let me just hide all and leave only those assets. Probably you are interested in trading the major, how do you call it, currencies. Okay, you will leave only the major currencies. You can select them and leave only those ones we'll be showing here. Now, let me show you another thing. As you came here, you could see time, okay? You could see spread, and you could see highs and lows. What does that mean? If you click on it, let me click on spread and you see what happens. What just happened? What just happened? You could see that another table has been added to it. This is your spread. This is your spread. So what you are seeing here right now, my colleagues explained to you earlier this week that the spread is just the difference between the ask price and the bid price, okay, or the ask and the bid. So basically, if you take this number here and then you subtract this number here out of it, you are going to get this. Simple. That's what it means. And that is this thing here you are seeing here goes straight to the broker. That belongs to the broker. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. So if you like, you can also bring many other things out like time. Time will be added. You can click on high and lows. High and lows will be added. So the whole thing will just be crowded. But we prefer to leave just the bid and the ask because, you know, when you get to know what you are doing, this spread that you are seeing here, let me show you another thing before you continue. The spread that you are seeing here, come back to my chart. If you could look at your right on my chart. On my chart right now, you could see two horizontal lines. You can see two horizontal lines. So basically what it means, the red one to the gray line, you see that surface in between them, that is the spread. The surface in between the two, this red line and the gray line, that is the spread you are seeing over there. Someone is asking a question. The person is asking whether I can display the former, my previous slide. What previous slide are we talking about, please, Madam Onyemata Chinyere? If you can kindly just type it, what was on that slide, and I can go back to it quickly. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm just explaining to you that the spread that we've been talking about all this while are just the differences between the two. Consider this space in between the two lines as a no man's land. You know, it is a border, So assuming you want to sell. If you are selling, you are expecting the market to go down. Okay. What the broker will do, he will not begin to take your trade where the gray line is. No. The market, the broker, will initiate your trade on the red line. So before you begin to make profits, you have to cross the border. It's just like you are crossing the border, you take your passport, they want to stamp your passport, you pay. Before we see that a lot in our part of the world. When you want to cross the border, you ask you, okay, you have to stamp your passport. When you stamp it, you pay. You know, put that analogy in your head. So this is like a border. Before you cross and get where you are, you want to start from the country that you are going to, you need to pay something, which is the spread. So that's what the broker gets from you. So the spread that we've been talking about at the beginning of this week is just the space in between these two lines. Don't make mistake. Sometimes it can be very, very wide. Believe me, sometimes this small space that you are seeing can be very, very wide. Okay, now I think we can continue. Okay, partially closed trade. Okay, I'm going to go to that again. We will see it here, so don't worry, please. So this is what we call the market watch. I think I've done justice to the market watch. Okay, I believe I've done justice to it, but I'm going to take these things off again, the high and lows. I'm going to leave only my bid and my ask. I like them like that. Okay, so the next thing we are going to look at right now will be the next thing we are going to talk about right now. Just a minute, guys. Can everyone hear me very well, please? Hello, can everyone hear me, please? If you can hear me, just let me know. Okay, thank you. Okay. So sorry about the interruption. Sorry about that. So what's going to happen here right now is we were talking about the market watch. I think we've done justice to that. So we will come here again. I'm going to show you, before I go to the navigator, I'm going to show you what we call the data window. I actually didn't put it in my slide. Every window incorporated into MT4, you can close them all and bring them all out. We can close them all and bring them all out. Let me close this. Let me close this. Let me close terminal. Okay. You are seeing only your chart. You are seeing only your chart. If you want to bring them out, you can just go to view. You go to view, you click on market watch pops up. You click on data window, it pops up. So that's the way it works. It is user-friendly. The system is user-friendly, so you can use it that way. So I'm going to close this one again and show you what we call the data window. What the data window does is this. Can you check what is happening right now as I'm moving my cursor on the chart? As I'm moving my cursor on the chart, you will see that, you know, everything is moving. The numbers are moving. You could see the numbers are moving. You could see the numbers are moving. Okay. So it means if any time you put your cursor on one candle, any candle that you select, any candle at all that you select, the system, what does the system do? This data window gives you information concerning that, that candle. So when I put my cursor on this very candle, you could see dates. It has given me the dates where that candle has been formed. It gave me the time when it was formed. It gave me the open price. It gave me the high price. It gave me the low price. It gave me the closing, and it gave me the volume. That's how good this data window is. So I want you to bear it in mind. It may be useful in the future when you begin to talk about pressure. Okay, when you begin to see, you want to look for the pressure of a candle to make your analysis, it becomes very handy and very useful. Okay. So that is it for the data window. We are now going to move to navigator. As I spoke to you earlier on, or I explained earlier on, this is the navigator window. Okay. What happens here is this. What happens here is this. When you go to your navigator window, what you are going to see is you will see accounts, you will see indicators, you will see expert advisors, and you will see script. You will see indicators, expert advisors, script, and account. So the account just gives you details of all the accounts that you've kind of registered, all the accounts that I have. Yesterday, I was telling you, I do have 3 demo accounts, okay, on Naga. And it gives me all the 3, gives me all the 3, all the information on all the 3. Okay, so, and when you come to indicators, click on this plus and it gives you all the inbuilt. We are talking about the inbuilt indicators. We are talking about all the inbuilt indicators. It gives you all the indicators. Let me just explain this thing to you quickly. When you begin to trade, when we are talking about indicators, we will be talking about trend indicators, and we will be talking about oscillators. We will be talking about trend indicators, and we will be talking about oscillators. There are 2 types of a group of 2 sets that I would call it 2 sets of indicators that are inbuilt in MT4 MT5. Okay, so when we talk about trend indicators, are just indicators that kind of help you to identify a particular trend that the market will be going into. And we also call them lagging indicators. We also call them lagging indicators because they lag, because they are going to go into, what do you call it, one particular direction. They wait for the thing to happen for a period before they take the decision to kind of follow, before they take the decision to give you a signal that, okay, yes, it's really, really going to this direction we want to follow. And the moving average is one of those. So when we talk about oscillators, oscillators just measure the momentum, the price movement, okay, of a particular instrument, the price movement. This is what we call price movement. Okay, it's going to go down. Here it went up. Those indicators are there to just give you those small movements, and they are very quick. So for those who like to use indicators, what they do is they combine a lagging indicator and the fast indicator, which are the momentum. We call them momentum oscillators, because they just measure momentum. Those things are built based on calculations that we are not going to go. It's not part of today's scope of our class today, so we are not going to go into those. So just bear in mind that anytime you are talking about indicators, we do have 2, and some of them are also built by people, some of the forefathers of trading, or the pioneers of trading. I would say someone like Bill Williams. Okay, he has its own indicators that he has built, and they became famous, so they have been listed in here. So basically that is it. So when we are talking about expert advisors are what we call robots. They are built by people. They are built by programmers. People who are very good with programming. They just go ahead, they build those things, okay? And it means sometimes you may not be with your computer, but you can be trading because you let your robot, for instance, trade for you. You let your robot trade for you. Those are what we call expert advisors. And there are many of them. People are creating those things all the time based on probably a strategy or the other. And we do have scripts. Script, as we said, sometimes someone can create a signal script. That script is just there to give him a signal, okay, this market is going up, this market is going down, those kind of things. They are scripts, they are called scripts. So when you build those things, they are algorithms. When they are built, when you are incorporating it into your MT4, they come under script. Something like the lot size calculator. When you've built one and then you are incorporating it into MT4, it comes under script. So basically, the navigator provides you with those things, those details. So when you go to Navigator, those are the things that you see. It displays those elements to you to work with. The next we are going to look at will be the terminal. Oh, our good friend terminal. So this is what we call the terminal. This is what we call the terminal. I just enlarge it for you to see. This is it down here. That's what we call a terminal down here. So when I was showing you my slides, I spoke about trade. I spoke about the terminal having set of elements or some element, just like trade, exposure, okay? Exposure, if I've taken some trades right now, if I've taken a trade, you could have seen if I've lost some of my money, this graph will show it that, okay, some portion of money, has been taken away, means probably you've made some losses. And if you've made some, profits, it will also display all those things, okay, your exposure and all those. So this gives you your accounts history. This gives you your accounts history, tells you about your profits, your losses, what it has been for the past 1 month, maybe for the past 6 months. It will display all this information. Mine is kind of blank because we've not taken any trade. This demo account that we've created is quite, new. It is a new baby, so you may not see anything because you've not taken any trade or anything of that sort. So the news today is Saturday. The market is closed. The market works from Monday to Friday, okay? Closes on Friday evening. So the market is closed right now. We can't see anything. The market is not moving. If not, your broker should have been sending you some news, So here, you can get some alerts. Alerts, you can set them as well yourself. We can talk about the mailbox. The mailbox, all the registration that I did, you can see them right there. New account registration, new account registration, new account registration. Just because I had 3 different accounts. So anything that you are doing, the broker is sending you some mails, and those mails will be coming right in here. So in the, let me see, just a minute, please. You can also see when you come to markets, the market is a place where you will see what we were talking about earlier on. We spoke about how do you call it, expert advisors. We spoke about expert advisors. These are what we call expert advisors. They are robots that people actually pay for, people buy. Some of us who don't want to go through the process, we don't want to go through the process, but we want to profit big money. Then we go and pay these guys. We buy some of these things and say, okay, whilst I'm sleeping, this thing can be making money for me. But believe me, if you are here, it's because you already know, but it doesn't always work that way. You need to go through the process. You need to go through the process. So the signals are the same. Signals is the same as copying of a trade, okay? People want to be copying other people's trade. These people that you are seeing are people who have traded the amount of money that they have probably under management and all. Okay, so you can just buy and then you can copy their signals. You can copy their signals. All these elements are here for you to go through a journal and all those things. So that's what the terminal is all about. But I want to dwell a bit again on trade. When you take a trade, okay, I told you earlier on that when you take a trade, there are certain things that pop up. When you take a trade right now, where this gray band is showing, you can see that the system will display a figure here, a figure here, a figure here, a figure here, and a figure here. Okay, all this place will be full of figures. Even your swap will be there. Your swap is actually given sometimes if you have been in the trade for a long time, probably after a day, I believe after 24 hours, a figure will kind of, display over there. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it is positive. So here you can see SL, which stands for stop loss. You can see TP, that stands for or you call it take profit, okay? All these figures will be there for some assets out there. You can't trade them for the broker to charge you a spread. They charge commissions. They don't charge spread for certain assets. They charge commission. So if you are dealing with an asset where it is charged commission, then you can see the deduction, the commission that the broker has also taken will be displayed in here. So basically, that is it for the terminal. That is it for the terminal. That is it for the terminal. So after the terminal, the next thing we are going to look at, just a minute. Okay. After the terminal, the next thing we are going to look at is our charts. Our charts. We spoke about having different types of charts. Okay. So what we just need to do is to come here and do this. When you see up here, you could see some icons over here. I don't know whether you are seeing my cursor, please. If you are seeing my cursor, let me know. If you can see my cursor, I just need one response to continue to know whether you are seeing my cursor. Okay, so when you come here, okay, you could see when you put your cursor on it, the system itself talks to you. That is the beauty of, softwares. It talks to you. When you put your cursor on it, it tells you, oh, this is the chart bar, this is a candlestick, and this is a line chart. So when I click on this, okay, you could see everything changes. Let me zoom it for you to see better. Let me zoom it for you to see better. This is it. When you click on this is what you have. It changes. It changes automatically. When you want the candles, you come here, you have the candles. You come here, you have the line chart. It's as simple as that. It's very simple. It's very simple. But the chart that we are going to be trading with is the candlesticks. We all know that already. You all know that already. Now, let me explain this quickly, and then we could move on. The candles are kind of, they appear, on the MT4, on the MT5, we do have what we call time frames. You have what we call time frames. On MT5, we have MT4, sorry, we have 9 time frames. That is the M1. When you see M1, when you put your cursor on it, it talks to you again. It means 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, daily, W1, which is weekly, and then the MN, which is monthly. So basically, what this says to you, or what it means, is that anytime you select any time frame at all, if I select 15, okay, it just tells you that it took the system, okay, 15 minutes to create one of these candles. It took the system 15 minutes to create one of these candles. That's all it means. It took the system 15 minutes to create one of these candles. If I go to 30 minutes, it means it took 30 minutes for the system to generate one of these candles. 1 hour the same, 4 hours the same. If you go to M1, it means it would have taken a month, a full 1 month, that is 30 or 31 days, for the system to generate one of these candles that you are seeing on the screen. Okay, for you to see what you are seeing on the screen. Okay, now from here, I'm going to show you right now how to enter a trade, okay, how to close your trade and how to close your trade partially. And we are also going to talk about the pending orders that we spoke about earlier on. So let's get right into it, guys. So assuming the market is closed today, though, assuming I'm going to take a trade, it is simple. You have two ways to do it. You have two ways to do it. You remember earlier on, I told you that any trade that you want to take, you do have two types of orders. We have the instant order, and the pending order. Okay. So if you want to take the, how do you call it, the instant order, whereby the broker will kind of start working on your instruction immediately after you issue the instruction, you can come here. This is another way. Okay, can you see my cursor? I just click on something, it disappeared. I click on on it again, something showed up. You could see buy, you could see sell, you could see a number written there. What is written there is simply your lot size. It's simply your lot size. You can increase it if you want. You can decrease it if you want. Okay, so if this thing pops up, the only thing I need to do is to kind of hit my buy or my sell, and that is it. I've taken a trade. Unfortunately, today the market is closed. Even if I hit on it, it won't do any, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Okay. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. I want to sell. It's telling me the market is closed. Telling me market is closed. So we can't take any trade today. The second option is for you to go here. That's the first option for instant market execution. Okay. For you to use, how do you call it, a different method, you can come to new order. New order. Okay, I believe you've seen it. You click on new order. This dialog box appears, and you go to market execution. Market execution, I explained it earlier on, it's just like an instant execution. Then you go, you set your lot size. I'm going to set lot size 2. Lot size 2. You come, you click on buy or you click on sell because the market is closed. Nothing will happen. Now, for the pending orders, I have to click on the type of order. This dialog box pops up and I select pending order. Okay, when I select pending order, I go again to input the price. This price just simply tells you, okay, I want to buy, I'm using, how do you call it, a buy limit, or let's say a buy stop. A buy stop means I'm taking a trade above the current market price. I'm taking a buy above the current market price. Okay, so I'll go and select buy stop. Buy stop. So I've already told you I'm taking a trade above the current market price. It means the current market price is below the level. So you check your market price, your current market price, you check the level at which you want to buy, and then you input that figure here. You input that price here. After inputting that price there, you just click on place, and then you are good to go. You are good to go. So the system will just wait. The system will just wait for you. So your market gets there. When your market gets there, it just triggers it. The system will just automatically trigger your buy or your sell for you. So that's the way it works. Let's talk about closing of a trade. Let's talk about closing of a trade. Normally, when you have a trade open, okay, here. Unfortunately, we can't see it because today the market is not open. If you have a trade open here, what you do, you can just double click on it. When you double click on it, something similar to this appears, okay? Something similar to this appears, and the rectangle down here will be yellow, and it will be written in it, close. If you want to close your trade, you just hit on it, and then you disappear, okay? It means whatever loss or whatever profit you've made, you pocket it. If it's a loss, you accept it wholeheartedly and you move on. If it's a profit, you also accept it with happiness and you move on. So when you are talking about partial close, when these things opens to you, you just need to come here, okay? You want to close probably half. You don't want to close the whole trade. The trade is moving, you are in profit. You want to close half of it. You come here. It doesn't work. Let me clarify this. Partial close doesn't work when you are in losses. Then the system would have been corrupt. The only thing you can do when you are having losses is you disappear from the system. You close your trade and you are gone. So you come here and then you select the, how do you call it? The amount that you want to close. If it is half of it, you just click on it and then you close it, and then you can call it a day. Then you can call it a day. It means when you close half, the other half will keep on running. But whatever profit you've made, you know, has been divided into two, and then you have pocketed some because you are afraid of losing it, you know, or with the market going against you in the future. So you want to save whatever, a bit of whatever you have at the moment and let the rest run. So that is it. That's what you do. That is what you do. Basically, that is that. Okay. We also spoke about the analytical tools. We've spoken about the analytical tools. These are the analytical tools. I can also shift this thing from here to this place, okay, if I want to. So these are the analytical tools. Okay, these are the analytical tools. You can select them any way you want. You can select them any way you want, depending on the analysis that you are doing. Okay, depending on the analysis that you are doing. Let me just do this, trend line properties, click on Ray. Okay, so you can do anything at all that you want with this. Okay, this is what we call a trend line. This is what we call a trend line, because when we are talking about a trend, we are talking about a direction. Then you can place this as your trend just to kind of mark a certain trend that you are analyzing. So this is what we call the vertical. We call this the horizontal one. And all these things, this one is called the Fibonacci, a very important tool as well. Unfortunately, my background will not permit me to see very well. It's yellow. A very important tool is called the Fibonacci retracement. And so aside that, we can also see some tools, draw test, label, you know, all this, you can use them. Let me show you a very good one before we leave here, which is the crosshair. The crosshair gives you a lot of information. Assuming you are doing an analysis here, you want to see how many pips you've done so far or you've made so far. Okay, you want to see how many pips you've made so far. You can just put it here, drag it. You see, as I'm dragging it, it's giving me some figures. Okay, it's giving me some figures. The first one that it gives me is the number of candles. Is the number of candles. If you don't believe it, let's try here. Let's try a shorter one. How many candles do we have there? It normally counts from the following. So we have 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So that's the number of candles. And what follows is the number of points. Okay, is the number of points. What follows is the number of points. So from your point, you can calculate your, what do you call? You can calculate your pips. You can calculate your pips. And we already know, you've been told that 10 points equal to 1 pip. So that is it. You can calculate your pips using your points. So basically, that is that for the MT4. That is that for the MT4. We are going to go back to, hello, is everyone following, please? I want to know whether people are following, please. Is everyone following? I would need some response. I need some response from you guys. I need response. Need more response, more response. Is it sinking in, please? Is it sinking in? I hope it's sinking in. Okay, someone wants me to repeat the point counting. Okay, let me show that again. Let me show that again. When you go to, just try and select your crosshair. Okay, come here, let me look for my crosshair. I've selected my crosshair. So I put it anywhere I thought that I want and I drag it. Okay. Assuming I took my trade, assuming I took my trade from the top here and I was selling. I took my trade from here. Let me just, where I just put that red trend line, okay, or red line. I took my trade from here. And now the market has moved to this level. The market has moved to this level. Okay, and I want to know the number of pips that I've kind of collected. I want to know the number of pips that I've made. I have to go and select my crosshair. You select my crosshair, I put it here and I hold it and I drag to this level. Then it will give me the second, you know, the first number slash second number. The second number gives you the how do you call it, a figure in pips, in points, sorry, in points. What you are seeing there is point. Okay, what you are seeing there is point. So what you just need to do is to divide it by 10 and you get the number of pips that you are looking for. So that is it for the person who has the question. The last number is the price. The last number has to do with price. Okay, price of the asset at that particular level. So that is it. So I think we've done justice to MT4. I think we've done justice to MT4. Kindly, guys, if everyone has followed Julie, people who are still with us, I want you to give me, give me some signs so that I will know everyone is on board at this level, because from here we are tackling very quick MT5. If everyone has followed to this level and you've understood, you know, whatever I have explained to this level, I just want to see something. I just want to have some responses from you. To have some responses from you. Someone is asking, we will talk about that later, please. We will talk about that later. I think the person using the tab, I gave an instruction today, please, you are messing my things again and I'm not happy about it at all. The person using the tab, the tablets, please do something about what you just drew on my screen. I'm pleading with you. Do everything possible to erase it. Do everything possible to erase it, please. The person who just drew on my chart. I spoke about that today. You draw my chart, do everything possible to erase it, please. It's very important. Now, let's go back and let's tackle the rest so we can leave this place, please. Okay, so right now we are going to talk about the MT5. On the MT5, we are going to focus more on the differences between the two softwares. The differences between the two softwares. That's what we are going to focus on tonight. We are not going to teach MT4 or MT5 as we did to MT4, but we are going to talk about the few differences. So yes, MT5, okay, is just a next generation trading platform. We are saying that because it came after MT4. The MT4 was released by MetaCode company in 2005, and 5 years later, MT5 was also released. The only thing is MT5 came with some additional, tools, some improved tools, has been added to MT5. And it also has the ability to help you trade more assets, more asset classes. So we are talking about cryptocurrencies, okay? We are talking about bonds. We are talking about volatility indices and many more. We are even talking about stocks, okay? They just wanted one platform that can cut across. That's why they came about with this new software. So we are going to talk about that briefly. So the differences, the MT4 versus MT5. So what we are talking about MT4. MT4 is user friendly. You can use it and is highly used by forex traders, especially retail traders, because banks, let me tell you today, for those who don't know, the big banks, the hedge funds do not use MT4. They use many and much more improved softwares. So that's why sometimes they see things that we do not see. Yes, they see things we can't see because they don't use MT4. MT4 is for retail traders. But yes, don't be deceived. It has been doing the job. It has been helpful. People have been making money, a whole bunch of money using MT4 and MT5. So yeah, we are talking about, you can customize your MT4 to suit you, but that one is actually not a difference because you can even customize MT5 better to suit you. So you can also use additional features, as I spoke about, the trading of stocks, trading of features, trading of, bonds. We spoke about those. And we are saying that they have some similarities. However, we have some additional time frames, indicators, and other advantages for the MT5. So let's get right into it, guys. Now, what are we talking about? I put some upgrades and changes. I put upgrade because there are things that existed already. There are things that were already in, okay? But some few features have been added to it. Something like a time frame, for instance. I told you MT4 has a time frame, and I've shown them to you, okay? But we could see that MT5 has more time frames. MT4 give us only the ability to see 9 time frames, which is M1, M5, you call it H1, M30, M15, M30, that's 4. We have, what you call it, the hour time frame. You have the 4 hours. We have the monthly, yes, and we have the weekly. If you put them together, that would be 9 time frames. So when you go to MT5, what MT5 does is that it gives you 21 time frames. So it means it gives you from 1 minute to 30 minutes. So we are talking about one where you can see, you can move from 1 minute time frame, you can see 2 minutes time frame, you can see 3 minutes time frame, and so on to 30-minute time frame. When it comes to 1 hour, it can give you 1 hour time frame, it can give you 2 hours time frame, it can give you, so on to 12. And for the D1, which is the daily, the W1, which is the weekly, the MN, which is the monthly, has been kept as they were. They have been kept as they were. So if you put everything together, we will be having 21 time frames. I will show you how to, where to see them when we are going through the software. We talk about indicators. Earlier on, I showed you that in your navigators, yes, I think in your navigators, you could see your account, you will see scripts, you will see expert advisors, and then you also see indicators, okay? The inbuilt indicators on MT4 are 30. We have 30 of them. But when you come to the MT5, we do have 38 of them. We have 38 of them. Okay, we have 38 of them. We will be talking about the graphical analytical tools or objects. Before we completed the MT4, I show you some, line drawing stuff, those kind of line drawing stuff. They are actually called analytical tools because they help us when we are doing our analytics or our analysis. On the MT4, we do have 31 analytical tools. Yes, there are many. There are many. You can actually bring them. There's a way to bring them out. But on the MT5, we have 44 of them. Is it not beautiful, guys? Is it not beautiful? People don't like MT5. Yes, it's a bit more complicated than MT4, but it's just because it has many things to make life easier for us. But as usual, anything that's supposed to make life easier for us, when it comes to us, at first, we begin to think they are complicated. So let's go on. Let's move on. Okay. Now we are still talking about the upgrade and changes. Okay. We are still talking about the upgrades and changes. Something like the pending orders. I already told you the pending orders were 4, and I've showed them all to you. We have the sell stop. We have the buy stop. We have the sell limit, and we have the buy limit. Okay, that is for MT4. But when we get to MT5, we now have 6 of them. We now have 6 of them, which are those. We have the buy stop, we have the sell stop, we have the buy limit, we have the sell limit, and we do have buy stop limit, and we have sell stop limit. Okay, those are for the pending orders. I will show them to you again. Now, when it comes to the terminal, I showed you earlier on that where you will see your trade, where you will see your signals, where you are going to see your, your mailbox, is a component which is displayed at the bottom of your MT4. A window that is displayed at the bottom of your MT4 is called terminal in MT4. But when we move to MT5, for one reason that is unknown to us, the builders of MetaTrader have decided, okay, this time around we are not going to call it a terminal, we are going to call it toolbox. That's the changes that I'm talking about. The others that are kind of spoken about their upgrades, but there's one change, which is the toolbox. They just decided to change the name, nothing special. And in the toolbox, they added one or few more tools. They added few more tools. We are going to look at all those. When we come to the coding language, we spoke about coding language. We spoke about MQL4 and MQM5. MQL4, I was showing you some expert advisors, which we also call in another language robots. They are system built that can be trading for you whilst you are asleep, the lazy man movements. The quants guys will not agree with me though. But, when you want to code a robot, to fit into MT4, you need to use an MT4 language. It's just like I'm in Ghana, we speak Ewe, we speak Gan, we speak Twi, we have our own languages. If I go to Nigeria, if I go to Togo, if I go to Benin, Burkina Faso, and I begin to speak those languages, people will just be looking at me, where is it coming from? It will be weird. Same goes with these as well. That's why they are called languages. So in MT5, if you want to code a robot to be trading for you, if you want to code, any expert advisor to be doing a work for you, a particular work for you, then you must use the MQL4. That just stands for Meta Code Language, Meta Codes Language 5. And the previous one is Meta Code Language 4. Basically, that is that. So we are now talking about the new features. New features basically has to do with the new things that have been added onto the MT5, the new stuff that has been inbuilt into it that were not in the MT4. Okay, the first one is the market depth. The market depth is actually a tool which is very important for people, especially those who trade stock and stuff like that. In MT4, we don't have it. Not that we don't have it, it is there, just that it kind of gives little or no information. Those information that they give are not too useful to the traders, okay, are not too useful to the traders. But in MT4, on the other hand, the market depth, or some people call it depth of markets, which is DOM, depth of markets. They display very corresponding information about buyer and sellers, nearly order, which with a step of a price change in real volume of orders. Okay, so you can use that market depth to kind of take information on what you want to buy or sell, or how you want to get into your trade. Now we do have economic calendar. In the economic calendar in MT4, we don't have it at all. It is a new thing that has been brought into the MT5, and it can be seen in your toolbox, which we call earlier on in MT4 your terminal, okay, which we call terminal in MT4. So the economic calendar, what does it do? For people, for our fellows who are fan of fundamentals, they always call something fundamentals. They want to be following what is it? Market, Forest Factory. Yes, guys who follow Forest Factory and stuff like that, to be looking at what news will be out, so that I can rely on those to take trade. Now, MT5 has thought of that and said, okay, if that's what people are doing, let me give them something to, quench their thirsts. So that's what they've done now with economic calendar. We are going to see that when we are doing the practicals. So we have also some new features, which is stock features and bond. Stock features and bond are not in MT4. You can't trade stock, you can't trade bond, you can't trade options, you can't trade feature contracts with MT4, but with MT5 you could do so. We could do so based on your broker. If your broker provides that service whereby you could trade stocks, yeah, you could use your MT5 to trade stocks. You can use your MT5 to trade bonds, options, and stuff like that, including your volatility indexes and all. So we have field or killed. Field or kill is in MT4, but that one again is not used. Those are terms that I will give you the explanation to later on, and they are more useful. These terms that you are seeing are more useful when you are trading things like stocks, bonds, and co. Okay, we are now talking about the netting, hedging. Netting is, we don't have it in MT4. We don't have it in MT4. It's a new thing that has been incorporated into MT5. Okay, and basically, how does it work? Imagine you've opened two trades of opposite direction. Probably you are trading Euro USD and you decided to buy. When you bought, you realize you are making, losses, and you decided to sell again. When you do that at a certain, you decided to enter a new trade for the same instrument, and this time around you are selling. What the system will do is that it will not open, you will not see many trades opens like that, but it will net it. The system will net it for you. Net it means what? If the first one was opened with probably, two lot size, when the first trade was open with 2 lot size, okay, when you go for the netting, is going to now cut it for you now to be, to be 1 lot size. It means the second one that you've taken, okay, is now also in play, but you will not see the trades arranged, many of them in your trade for the same currency or for the same assets. No, the system is going to net it for you. The same is going to net it for you. And hedging? Hedging has been in MT4. Hedging has been in MT4. Is the same process with the hedging. Let's say when you take a trade that is going against you and then you take another one, that's what we call hedging. It is the same as netting with a bit, a slight difference, just that the system will not allow you to hedge. It will not allow you to show it like that. It will just say, okay, if that's what you want to do, then let me take it from the one you are already having. But for the hedging, you can just be seeing the 2 of them. You will be seeing the 2 trades or the 20 trades running concurrently. Okay, that's the difference for these terms. And we have, we don't have hedging in MT5 per se, but if you want to hedge in MT5, then you need to request it from your broker. You need to request it from your broker. So basically that is it. Fill or kill, these are, just few definition of fill or kill, immediate or cancel, and returns. They are not things that are kind of too important to us tonight. So let me just, we are almost at the end, and then let me give this last explanation, and then we can go. Okay, so we are now talking about the buy. I told you earlier on when we were talking about pending orders in MT4. The pending orders in MT4, they were actually, 4 of them, but in MT5 we are seeing 6 of them, and there was one that came to be added to it, which is the buy stop limit and the sell stop limit. So the sell stop limit and the buy stop limits, how does it work? This is what we are seeing on the right side. Basically, what you are seeing on the right side right now is buy stop limit. It is the scenario of buy stop limit. you are seeing your price here, okay? And then you are anticipating, for those who trade price action a lot, they know that, okay, they tell themselves, price is going to go up, reach this level, come down again to a certain level, and then begin to move. If you are not going to be with your computer and you want to play such a thing, that's what you have to do. You have to go for buy stop limit. Okay, so when you place it, the market is right here where the green dot is moving. You told the system that when price gets to this level, it's going to, retrace. When price gets to that level, it retraces through for real, gets to another level, then begins to go into the right direction. This will be very good for our fellows who are fan of Elliott wave, Elliott wave traders. This will be fantastic for them. They will be happy to know we have something to do that can do their work for them, the buy stop limit and the sell stop limit. So basically that is that. So I believe we've kind of come to the end, but just give me 5 minutes so I could go through 5 minutes. I could share my MT5 and we go through these things that we spoke about quickly. So here we spoke about the toolbox. In MT5, we spoke about the toolbox. This is it. This is the same as the terminal that we were talking about. You could see here, you can see trade, you can see exposure. This very thing, or this very toolbox in MT4, sorry, is called the terminal. But now we are calling it the toolbox. And I spoke about, it's not even showing here at the moment. Okay, when you come to calendar, we spoke about economic calendar, right? I hope everyone can see those who are still with us. I just need some response from you guys. Is everyone following? Those who are still with us, are we following, please? I know you guys are tired. We will be off this place very soon. I know you guys are tired. It's almost 2 hours. It's a bit long, yes. I need more response from you guys. So we spoke about economic calendar for our fellows who are big fans of news. People talk about news a lot. I want to know the news, especially when you get into this business for the first time, you hear those a lot. You come to think that, okay, if only I can get the news, I will become a successful trader, but it's not true. So this actually gives you all those information. This gives you, so you can set, assuming you are a pounds trader, you trade pairs that has to do with Great Britain pounds a lot. You can just go and check your economic calendar. So anytime there's a news that is going to hit on pounds, the calendar will give you a signal for you to follow. Okay, for you to follow. Basically, that is it. And we also spoke about the time frame. The time frame, when you come here, you can see that you are still seeing the normal time frames that you saw when you were in MT4. But just do this, just right click, okay? Right click and go to time frame. When you go to time frame, you see a lot of them. You see a lot of them. You see, those are new things that have been added, to the MT5. Those are some of the few things that have been added to the MT5. So yes, those are some of the things. And we can also talk about the pending orders. The last thing that I spoke about is the pending orders. So assuming you came here, you wanted to take a pending order, you go to pending order. Instead of it to give you only one, it gives you only 4, it gives you 6, which is buy limit, sell limit, buy stop, sell stop, and then we have buy stop limit and sell stop limit. So yes, I think we've come to basically the end. I believe I've done justice to, the MT4 and the MT5. If you kind of like whatever we did this evening, I just need some response from you guys, those who are still with us. Don't be worried that some of our fellows have left us. Probably they are people who are already in the system. They know this platform a bit, already. So this is a game where don't compare yourself to anyone. Okay, don't compare yourself to anyone. Always keep learning. I know people who are still with us who already know this, they've been trading, but they are still around. It means they are so committed, willing to learn, new things. And thank you guys. So let me go back to so before we leave, I want to leave us with one thing. I want to leave us with one thing. Food for thought. I believe you all know this man here. I'm not a Nigerian, but I have so much passion for Nigerians. Sorry about that. This is a man that I greatly admire because he's one of the great men that is doing a lot in Africa. He's doing a lot in Africa. I like his enthusiasm towards work, towards hard work, And then today is here not because of my admiration for him, but something that we need to learn from him. Okay. What did he say? I'm sure some of you have gotten, you've come across this post. It says success is a long-term journey. There's no quick fix. You will make mistakes. You will have challenges. And this is what I want us to talk about. He said, but for you to succeed, you must be disciplined, resilient, and make sacrifices. Guys, he spoke about three things. I'm so concerned about these three words that we are seeing here right now. Discipline. The discipline that I want to talk about, just in 5 minutes, I'll finish, is that I know we are all busy in our various, jobs and businesses, but if we really want to be successful in the game of Forex, we need to be disciplined. And discipline for us, what does it entail? Don't go to bed without opening your chart for at least 15 to 30 minutes. I know what I'm talking about. Don't go to bed without opening your chart, without spending some few minutes with your chart. You may learn everything that you want to learn. If you ignore this, you will be in this industry for a long time, but it will be as if you just started yesterday. We talk about resilience. Being resilient, just never give up. Find a way to get back into the game, even if you make mistakes. There's times where you can never be 100%, accurate in this game of Forex. The market doesn't give anyone the chance to be 100% accurate. That's why people have been looking for holy grails to be able to trade this market and to make 100% profit all the time. It's not possible. You cannot have it. It means mistake is permissible, but you should find a way to get back into the game, and your mistake should not also be, should not become like a habit. And the last one will be sacrifices. I know if you are here today, I don't need to talk about sacrifices. You've already made it. You've already been sitting here for the past 2 hours and more, listening to me talking to you. Is already part of the sacrifices. You are even going to make more sacrifices by learning, by sitting with our charts, by reading, by following our lead mentor. And so on these notes, I want to thank you all for making the sacrifices to sit here and listening to me to learn something new. And next week, I believe we will be starting things for real. And I will implore everyone to kind of get set, because what is coming is big, guys. What is coming is really big. So get set. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank my colleagues. First of all, I want to thank our lead mentor for putting up this training to educate us and to also change our lives. Because believe me, if you go through the discipline, you go through the resilience, and you go through the sacrifices, you will definitely not be at the same level, in the next 2-3 years to come, definitely, by God's grace. And then I also want to take the opportunity and thank my other colleagues. Shout out to Chat Goddess, to Ali, and to Femi. Femi will be talking to us probably next week, okay? Femi will be talking to us next week. Those guys are great guys. We are still learning, we are still pushing, and thank you all. On this note, I would like to give, the floor for some questions, but I know it is actually a bit late at the moment. So I don't know if there's any question. I think you can put it on the platform and you will be attended to. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, my colleagues, and see you next week. On this note, I would like to give the floor to our only mentor, TVHM himself, to kind of say something to us before we leave. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much, Litor. You've done justice to this work. I appreciate everyone here, and I want to say thank you very much. Next week is going to be great. So our next week class will start off on Thursday. So beginning from next week, we'll be having our classes Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The time remains 8 p.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The time remains 8 p.m. Right? So if you have any questions, drop it on the Telegram channel, and it will be followed up. I really appreciate you guys. Good night.